Alright, so we have the sterling here, all in the gig bag. I wanted to kind of give it like a part 3 of the overview of what it looks like inside the gig, the ultra gig bag is what I call it, and all that. Excuse me. So here's the tools that it comes with. I mean, pretty much your standard gig bag candy, but you have the truss rod bar right here for the middle of the for the truss rod, because it being at the bottom of the neck and all that, you don't use a normal Allen wrench. I mean, you can, but you're gonna end up bending the Allen wrench, because if you notice, it's a little bit thicker. Let's see if I can get up there. Yeah, it's a little bit thicker than what that would be, because that's going to be for your posts, that's for your saddles, and that's the only one for your truss rod. So I'll just put that in its little baggie. And I mean, look at how thick this is. I mean, it's not a cheap case. Like, you know, usually how, like, back in the day, like when I was getting guitars in 2003, that's when I actually started buying guitars, because I was able to work for decent money back then. They would give you like stuff that was just, it is basically like a shopping bag with a zipper. These are, I mean, look at that. Excuse me. Freaking allergies. So, all the way up here, it actually feels, it looks like, excuse me, a firearm, like a rifle case. It makes sense considering that they use gun stock barrel, or, you know, I'm probably saying it wrong, but, you know, the gun stock oil for the necks and stuff. But they have all that in here. And it doesn't have like the cheap, crappy plastic smell. It to me, I always say like stuff like, "Oh, it smells like a comic book store," or "It smells like this smells like a guitar store." And it does. What's cool is it doesn't get stuck on anything like that. You can actually leave the whammy bar on too. Here, ooh, see, you can actually see the color a lot better. Actually put the so there's the color a little bit better. I adjusted the neck just a tad bit yesterday. Maybe when it's traveling, me being in Arizona and traveling from Reno, which is, you know, being just up a little bit from where I'm at, you know, it's gonna need a quick little adjustment. Let me move this real quick. So, let's get the pros and cons to this, because, you know, I like doing that with the video. I don't just want to go, "Oh, well, here's this guitar is. It's really good. It's awesome. Blah, 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 blah." So, obviously, the paint job. I mean, look how amazing that thing is. It's just, you can't get more gorgeous than that. I mean, obviously, there's other paint jobs you can do and whatnot. So we'll start out with the cons. When you get down, the frets usually, the money you pay for something like this, you want nothing sticking out and cutting you up. Now the frets don't stick out and cut you up. The ones here on the upper registry, they didn't finish filing down, I would say, here, I'll put it up here. This part of the fret, like the top part, really not the top part, but just the little parts of the ends, something I can take a flat block to with some sandpaper and go, maybe with some 1500 grit, and it's just, it's on a couple up here and just down here. That's it. There's no dings in the paint. what you see here is from the sweat. I was sweating the pick dust because I was playing like crazy yesterday. I probably played for like almost 10 hours yesterday. There's absolutely no neck dive, so the one thing that was kind of weird getting used to is, you know, playing Ibanez necks and Jackson necks, especially with like the pointy headstocks. This thing is very small, and so it almost kind of feels like a headless. And then with the Groove Gear, what is it? You know, like the I forgot the name of this right now. Basically, the behind the nut string dampener. That's what it's, the string dampener. I hate when that happens. Sometimes I would hit up here and it would move down because I didn't tighten it enough. And that happens sometimes. I was constantly getting an awe by the color. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I wouldn't pay attention to anything else. And then I don't really want to call that a con or anything. It's just, it's the Ernie Ball or whatever, same company, whatever, you know. How they're really smart about this, it kind of throws you off on your playing. It takes a minute to get used to. But this was throwing me off. And the pickups they're nothing to write home about, but they're nothing to crap on. Like, I wouldn't go and be like, oh, they're pieces of crap, blah, blah, blah. They're really good pickups. I mean, I've played horrible pickups. If you're looking for super heavy metal pickups, this is not that kind of guitar. You got to understand the guitar you're going for or you're playing. I mean, you can put EMGs in it, but then you're kind of taking away the atmosphere and aspect of the guitar that you bought. It does take a minute to get used to complete access to everything, and that's not a bad thing. It's just you're like, oh wait, I can actually do something. That's why it's like I'm kind of swaying with the contours and everything, because it's really it looks, the neck looks small, like the fretboard and all that, but it's a lot bigger than you think. It almost kind of feels like a thin 7-string, but the chords you get out of this are huge. It's just with these pickups, like they look like they'd be something from the US, but you know, they're just run-of-the-mill factory stock pickups. Like I like their stock bridge. I mean, listen to that. I mean, if I upgraded this at all, it would be a Godot or a Wilkinson, because I like both those companies. And it doesn't have the piezo pickups in it, because you gotta understand this is the base model, and why I wanted this one over the flame maple top and all that other stuff is this apparently plays and feels more like a real Ernie Ball, so I wanted that, and the color. That's what sold me, was the color. So I'm not gonna install piezo pickups and all that other stuff, because I did research on that stuff years and years and years ago, and they're a pain to clean because each saddle's a pickup, and yeah, it's too much. It sounds great, but the headache that goes in it isn't worth it. I'd rather just buy something that already has it in it. It's weird to get used to, and this is the weird thing. The pros sound like cons, but it's like stuff you've always wanted, but as soon as you get it, you're like, oh wow, I'm not used to that, because right when you, like how he had it set up for the volume and the tone, I would end up taking out the tone, but then you're taking away all what this thing can do, because I've always stuck. I like having a tone knob because I take out some of the high end because it usually has treble bleed on it, and then having the toggle switch right here, especially when you're doing the bends and all that. That was awesome. I only had to adjust the saddles a thousandth of an inch maybe, just because they were crooked. Was exactly the same same height I always like, because I'm already done with the cons. That's the only cons that there were on the whole guitar. And you're probably thinking, you gotta be kidding me. It's just hard to see the color at some things, but I mean, it's a chameleon color. What do you expect? I'm a bolt-on neck guy. I've never been I like bolt-on and set-in necks. I don't like neck through bodies or anything like that. I'll probably put his actual pickups inside here just to give it the Petrucci feel. But I like the sound of this. I like the way this sounds. It actually sounds like something off one of his records. And here, like, look at the back of this bad boy. Look at the figuring on that neck. And for all of you guys that are like me, that like to go and look up this serial number, indigestion. The serial numbers apparently on Sterling and Ernie Ball don't mean anything unless it's Ernie Ball, Music Man, Sterling. Oh crap! Wow, this is not. There we go. So all these numbers, they don't mean nothing. I'm thinking that the first number or the second number is the year, so I'm thinking it's 2016 or 2015. But I have it in drop D right now. I mean, like I said, I might put new pickups in it. I don't want to. I can't get over how amazing this guitar sounds, feels, and all that. It's amazing. So I enjoy it. I hope that